Later got in touch to confirm that yes, indeed, there would be an open door, but that even with the power of the LHC at his disposal, he would only be able to hold it open a very tiny lapse of time, 10 to 26 seconds. But during that infinitesimal amount of time, we would be able to peer into this open door, either by getting something out of it or sending something into it.
Something isn't right. For decades, scientists have been smashing particles together deep beneath the surface of the Earth, chasing answers to questions we're not even sure we're ready to hear. But what if I told you? Some people believe they've already found something. Something that doesn't just change physics, but challenges reality itself. And the deeper they dig, the stranger things seem to get. Most people have heard of Cern, but very few actually understand what goes on there. Hidden near the border of Geneva, scientists operate the most powerful machine ever built by humanity, the Large Hadron Collider. This machine is designed to do one thing: recreate the conditions of the universe just moments after the Big Bang. We're talking about particles moving at nearly the speed of light, colliding with such force that reality, at its smallest level, starts to break apart. And what they've found? It's not exactly comforting. At its core, Cern is trying to answer a simple question. What is everything made of? Not atoms, not molecules, but what's beneath that? When scientists smash particles together, they're not just creating chaos, they're revealing the hidden structure of existence. Back in 2012, Cern confirmed the existence of the Higgs boson, often called the God particle. This discovery helped explain why matter has mass, why anything exists at all. But instead of closing the book, it opened the door to even deeper mysteries. Here's where things start to get uncomfortable. At the quantum level, reality doesn't behave the way we expect. Particles don't have fixed positions. They don't even exist in one place at a time. They exist as probabilities until they're observed. This concept, known as quantum mechanics, suggests something disturbing. Reality, as we experience it, might not be fully real in the way we think. Dr. Astrid Stuckelberger is often referenced in online discussions around Cern because of interviews that circulate on social media, where she comments on large global institutions and scientific programs. In those clips, she is portrayed as expressing concerns about how advanced research projects can be interpreted or misused when taken out of context.
I like, but on the side, I was reading books like Relativity of Time. You know, I was 14, 13, and an adult. and they said, well, yes, there is something. And then they started talking about the Cern portal. There's a portal for the LHC. There's a door, open, a round door, you know, like in the Stargate. And I don't know if it's as big. Yeah, there is one picture that the person is quite small, actually, on it. You can go and look for those interested. Go and type Cern portal LHC door, and you will see. So in front of the door, they have a room. They probably have many doors, but they have a room, and they sit around the table. And I said, so yeah, what happened? He said, well, an entity came from this portal, and like sat at the table. I was like, but how is this entity? What do you mean entity? Is it a person? Is it an alien? What color? Are they like us? And they couldn't answer anything. They said, no, it's not. We know. We just know it at Cern, and they cannot describe it, but they have it secondhand. It's not third, fourth. It's a very good friend who knows. And so I said, okay, I have to find something more, because that's not enough. So I said, can you proof? And is there a proof that they bring, that is give something? There's some document. And they said this entity the second time took a scarf and left a scarf. I said, what type of scarf? And they don't know. They're not into the detail. They were really into the event and not the detail. And this entity left again. After this, Dr. Berg later got in touch to confirm that, yes, indeed, there would be an open door. But that even with the power of the LHC at his disposal, he would only be able to hold it open a very tiny lapse of time, 10 to 26 seconds. But during that infinitesimal amount of time, we would be able to peer into this open door, either by getting something out of it or sending something into it.
And experiments at Cern continue to push this idea further and further. Every time the collider powers up, it generates massive amounts of data. Most of it, we still don't fully understand. Scientists have observed behaviors that don't always line up with current models of physics. There are hints, just hints, of unknown particles, unexplained energy signatures, interactions that shouldn't be happening. This has led to theories about physics beyond the standard model. Some believe we're on the edge of discovering something completely new. Others, they think we might already have. Now, this is where the internet takes things a step further. There are claims, unproven but persistent, that Cern could be interacting with parallel dimensions, creating microscopic black holes, even weakening the fabric of space-time itself. You've probably heard the phrase, opening a portal. Sounds like science fiction, right? And to be clear, there is no verified scientific evidence that Cern has opened anything like that. But the reason these theories exist is because modern physics itself leaves room for ideas like extra dimensions. Concepts in string theory suggest there could be more dimensions than the ones we see. So when people hear that Cern is smashing particles at unimaginable energies, they start asking, what if we accidentally touch something we don't understand? As researchers pushed deeper into the data, something began to shift. Patterns that weren't supposed to exist started appearing in collision results. These weren't random anomalies you could just write off as error. They were consistent, structured, almost like the experiments were brushing up against something just outside the limits of our measurable reality. Some physicists quietly noted that certain energy signatures didn't behave within the known laws of three-dimensional space. Instead, they hinted at interactions occurring beyond it. Movements that couldn't be tracked, only inferred. And the deeper the experiments went, the harder it became to ignore. Dr. Astrid Stuckelberger spoke on this in a way that raised eyebrows across multiple circles. She didn't describe Cern as just a particle collider, but as something far more advanced, something capable of interacting with dimensions beyond our own. According to her statements, the technology being used wasn't just about smashing particles, but about opening access points, brief windows where information, or even matter, could cross between layers of reality. What's unsettling isn't just the claim itself, but how it aligns with unexplained gaps in recorded data, missing sequences, and moments where readings simply go dark, like something interfered. And then there's the question no one publicly answers. If nothing unusual is happening, why the secrecy? Why are certain experiments classified, certain results withheld, and certain scientists suddenly silent? Over the years, individuals connected to advanced research fields have either disappeared, changed their stance overnight, or stopped speaking entirely. It creates a pattern, one that suggests control over not just information, but perception. Because if the public truly understood the scale of what's being explored, it wouldn't just challenge science, it would challenge reality itself. So when you hear that Cern is simply studying particles, that it's all safe, all controlled, all understood, you have to ask yourself, how much of that is surface-level truth? Because beneath it, behind the headlines and official statements, something far more complex is unfolding. Something that hints at dimensions we were never meant to access, forces we don't fully understand, and consequences we may not be able to reverse. And if even a fraction of this is real, then the question isn't what Cern is doing. The real question is, what have they already done?